Oh, happy Friday, guys. It's another wonderful Friday AMA. Hope everybody's having fun with their, what are we, shrimp pizza meta competitions. That ends tomorrow, midday. And then we got another one starting right back up on Tuesday. Yes, Dash, I am always watching you. Let's see, what do we got to go over this week? We've got, why don't we start off introducing our new social media manager? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure thing. Hey guys, really awesome to meet all of you. I just started not that long ago, actually. But my name is Ninja Surprise, or as you may know me on Twitter or Discord. But you could also call me Dan. But yeah, I am basically leading social media strategy. I'm leading a lot of like the creative directions and everything for Townstar. So it's really wonderful to meet you guys, and I'll be you'll definitely be seeing me on these Twitter AMAs as well.
We're super excited to have you on the team.
I know, and it's awesome. It's really great being able to, just lead the whole content direction in a different, in a different motion. I definitely have some really awesome ideas I want to see come to life on Townstar, and working with you guys has been really fun so far too.
Hey,
It's been
Dan,
a great week.
do you want to share just a few notes, a little bit about your history, let people get to know you for just a
Yeah, of
touch?
course. So I previously was working actually at Polygon Labs. So I was working with the Matic team, basically leading content strategy, also with SEO. I have a quite a bit of a startup background myself, working with different forms of content marketing and also digital marketing. As well as digital marketing. I've always loved the gaming space, and Gala definitely has that perfect mix of Web3 and gaming. So when I was interviewing with Gala, I definitely knew that this was going to be my next move. But yeah, that's a bit about me. Definitely an avid gamer. Love crypto. Love the Web3 industry and just all the builders and people creating really awesome stuff in it. And I've always loved being a part of it since day one.
Awesome. Well, thank you for introducing yourself. I think we're probably going to jump into game updates. It looks like Volcron's here, though he's not a speaker yet. So if he wants to jump up on the space stage, we can let him
Yep, I
take
got him.
over. Guess while we wait, I can go over some of the big ones. Oh, here he is. Volcron, happy Friday.
Volkran, you're muted. The struggle is mighty this morning.
He'll show up eventually. So let me just start by going through some of these change logs here. It looks like on Monday we got the Green Dragon Express was added to the game. I think that we're still working on getting the quantity figured out just right, but the dragon is there and it is working. Diamond Charge Station was added. The Easy Dough Bakery was added. We had some server issues that got resolved. We fixed the cap to the cash value that was showing in the game so that people can have more cash now. Well, there was some tomato crop fixes. The farmers weren't quite harvesting it in time, but that has been resolved as long as you have enough farmers. I know some people are still having issues with not enough farmers. Make sure you've got enough farmers. We did some fixes to the diamond water pump. Some of the Miranda skins got fixed this week. The UFO skin, when applied to the Express Depot, was fixed. Seafood warehouse priority was fixed. What else we got here? Some priority issues between the ground silo and the regular silo, and the big storehouse and the regular storehouse were fixed. So those should be good now. We had the issues with the Alpha Majestic Fountain. That one's there now, and the Corrupted Luxury open packs are also now in the game. If you have them in your inventory, you just have to place them. They don't actually place, you just have to hit the place button for each one of them, and they should be working. I think I saw some people saying that they weren't working all that great for red timers. We'll look into that further. The Great Sawmill now doesn't need a road again, which is awesome. So we got that fixed. There was a rice price fix. And let's see here. Some UI issues with the NFT inventory scrolling around a bunch. And that will stay right where you left off, which is a really nice usability improvement. I think that's most of the big stuff that I've got in changelogs. Volcron, you have anything else?
I think my mic is fixed now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. No, you covered it. I'm here to answer some of the other questions further down our agenda.
Well, let's see what I've got for questions here then. I have a list of outstanding and expected soon things that we can discuss. Do you have any updates on Fast Forward for anybody?
Yeah, I do. We're testing it. I guess player facing, you wouldn't say it's um, no change from last week from your guys' perspective, but from us, we have 3 people testing it right now in our pre-deploy environment, so that's looking good. It's really going to help people not only with disconnects, but people who don't, for example, have electricity or Wi-Fi all day, or they're on metered Wi-Fi. So that'll be really nice, and we'll touch on this topic a little bit later when we get to talking about nodes. Do you want me to go down the outstanding / expected soon stuff?
Yeah, go right down that list.
All right. Let's see. Leaderboard adjustments. I don't know about adjustments. I know we've been fixing bugs with it. There's been a couple times where the client will spam the server. I personally ran into that where I would pop open the leaderboard and it would just start scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. One of our devs found the source of that and they're fixing that. I think that's in QA right now. And then optimizing the network calls that it makes. You gotta be careful about that stuff. Um, Next will be connectivity issues. Yeah, that's a big one for sure. So we're making a long-term and a short-term fix. Today, the short-term fix should resolve a lot of the weird bugs people are seeing. Um, I want to call them red herrings because some of these bugs are like you get desynced but not fully. And what happens is the server or sometimes the client, but let's just for simplicity, let's say the server has, if you guys want to go into the like tech details, it has more information to send in a message, let's say a packet. It's not like a TCP packet, but in a message to all the clients than the framework, than the engine is configured to allow. So what happens is some actually just gets left off. So the long-term fix, of course, is to what we did back in March was to optimize the size of those, but the sheer scale of people connecting to the servers and everything has to change our strategy a bit on that. So yeah, the connectivity issues, part of that is caused by just the servers being too popular right now. Um, Scaling up helps, increasing our internal bandwidth, server to server helps. So those are things that we're doing today. Trade time bar. That sounds like a new feature. Was that in? I don't remember that being in live. Was there a timer?
Yes, it shows up on the right-hand side of the screen, like underneath the leaderboard and rank and stuff, just that bar that shows like how far your trade depot has moved. I don't know
Oh,
if we have a feature request in for it yet, but we should if we don't.
yeah, we definitely should. Um, that's a good idea and seems simple enough. Did we ever share screenshots of the XP bar we had for leveling up in December and January? I feel like we did. It
Yeah, I
must.
think a long time ago.
Okay. Yeah, maybe something like that, or do you think something less obvious, like a little progress meter over the depot itself, or
Yeah, so long as it shows how far the depot is away and when it's coming back.
okay. Yeah, because it's a good time anytime, to revisit. We don't have to port things 100% as they were, right? Like we can make improvements. Earnings timeline, I don't have any updates on that. So as far as the what's outstanding slash expected soon, that's a fair amount of what would be good to cover. Want me to mute till we get to my next section here?
Yeah, let's move on to some May Mayhem updates. I think that who's in here? Is K Saras are on here?
Hey everyone,
Yes.
happy Friday. So let's talk about May Mayhem. Last week we gave out the first set of achievement and referral rewards. And I think we gave out a total of more than 1.2 million Gala. About 3,000 people qualified for the first achievement, about the same number qualified for the second one, and about 600 players qualified for the third one. And as many of you already know, we sent out those rewards twice. So anyone who found them richer than they should be can thank me for it, but don't be super happy about it because we will try to recover what we can from the future. I hope you guys will understand that part. Now I'll pass it back to Michelle.
Awesome. I think that we're probably moving into Q&A. Let me see if I've got any Q&A that didn't already get answered by Volcron. Unless Musashi is here now and has anything he wants to say before we move on.
Hey, I'm finally on stage. Thank you, Dan, for that. About Mayhem, no, but ping me for any specific questions.
Will do. All right, so the first question I've got here is autocomplete. Will it be staying or will it be optional?
We're assessing that. We'll see how the community feels about playing without it right now. But let's hear. We're open to hearing feedback, so please give your feedback to Farmer Mitchell.
Yeah, sounds like something we should do a poll on. I'll have to set one up for early next week. Okay, the next question I have is when will nodes be used?
Well, I'd like to talk more about what they're going to do than the when. I don't think we have a timeline, but somebody had asked, would they be used for the offline for the fast forwarding? And that's absolutely what we're thinking about using them for. That's a very high CPU usage activity. And it's something that, for example, if you're logged out and you are not, if your town is being fast forwarded, let's say at midnight or on some other regular cadence, versus when you're logging into the game and your town is being fast forwarded that moment, those periodic fast forwards that we do to keep towns up to date and at the end of competitions, those are perfect candidates for running on nodes. It's high CPU, it can be driven by consensus, it's resistant to tampering, so that's a really good use case for that. You want me to go into the infinite money idea somebody had?
Yes, jump right into that one.
Okay, one question that came in was someone recently suggested having a server with infinite money to plan your town out. The idea would be you have infinite money, everything builds instantly, and all that to test out your town. I'd like to hear in Discord how people would use that. Like what, besides obviously you'd look at like how many, the arrangements and the proximities and all that, but would you be relying on the production monitor or just a count of dollars per hour, or how would you guys use that? It's a cool idea. We could consider porting our super cheap QA mode to some kind of public mode one day, but right now we want to get the servers steady and bug free and running smooth before we go introducing that. So hope that answers that question.
I do think it would be a great idea and probably really helpful for even for new players who are coming in who may not quite understand even how to like get to gasoline, to have a place where they can go and just kind of play around with stuff before it really matters. So they can see what works best and what doesn't work, learn how proximities work properly. That kind of stuff
Yeah,
would be really nice for a mode like that where it's just straight practice mode.
it's a good idea.
Oh, what else we have here for questions from the community? We've got number 1, when can I customize biome and edges?
Hey,
Kazaki
so yeah,
Musashi.
this is something that's really important for me right now. As you all know, everyone's getting the same town, and that's interesting because it's a different playing experience as it was in the legacy game, right? But we do want to start giving more options. Now, our top priorities right now are someplace else, right? We have fast forward, earn. So I personally really want to add these features, but we want the game to be as stable as possible first. So yeah, we're preparing a roadmap for everybody, including you players. So be on the lookout for what's coming.
Awesome. The next question I have here says, when will the NFTs be in and working properly?
Right. So we've actually been adding them pretty regularly. As you mentioned at the beginning, we just released the Corrupted Luxury Open Pack, the Alpha Fountain Majestic, the Green Dragon we released, but it has a couple of issues that we're working on right now. Um, and we've been adding them since we released the game. So we're constantly adding more. Um, and according to my list right now, we're still missing the enchanted fireworks and I think one or two storages. We'll get those as soon as possible. So regarding whether we're working properly, I mean, we've been also fixing a lot of those things. But we appreciate everyone reporting issues with buildings and FTs. We're prioritizing and fixing those every day. So please keep using Michelle's form, which is in Discord, to let us know of issues with particular NFTs. Um, but yeah, and if I'm missing one, I know that the fireworks are missing, but if there's a big one that it's not there, and I may not be aware of, let me know.
And I'll get that NFT bug form reposted today right after the AMA for anyone who wants to report anything else. The next question I have is, when will we be able to place multiple of the same NFTs without going back into the tab?
So that's an interesting question. So we will be looking into that functionality, but in the meantime, we just released a fix yesterday that will not scroll your NFT list to the top every time you open it, right? So this is not exactly that, but it will definitely help with that issue that you're having without having to go back to the UI and scroll back to where you were. So let us know how that's going for you guys. And displacing multiple will be a functionality that will add to our queue at some point.
Yeah, that not scrolling of the NFT inventory was really nice. I played around with it a bit yesterday, and it was awesome to not have to like scroll all the way back down to the bottom of the list to place another paved road. That definitely was super helpful. So thank you for that. The next question I have is, what's planned for the in-game store UI?
So in our pipeline, we have simple but powerful additions like sorting and filtering. Again, as we stated before, our main focus right now is to make the game more stable and then earnings, which I know everyone's asking for. And after that, we have this whole lot of other features, including revamping the UI for the store a little bit and making it more manageable. So that's in the works, and we'll inform you when we have something to share.
All right, I think that is mostly what I have for questions. Oh, nope, I've got one about an API. Would it be possible to provide a simple competition leaderboard API?
Yes. So we've been talking with different community people for basically since we started the Godot port about an API. Uh, as I said before, about anything else server related, we have to fix the bugs and the performance on our servers first. But it's definitely been there. It'll probably be key driven, and your key will be tied to your Gala account, and it'll be, of course, rate limited, throttled. But the idea is that you would be able to query your user record to see, here's my list of towns. This is no promises, but this is just what we're hoping. You'd be able to query your town itself, which I know a lot of people would really like to do, just directly get a copy of their town's data in some kind of JSON format or something. And third, of course, the leaderboards. So it's in the works.
Yeah, I'm seeing a couple more questions out there. So let's just jump in. So Nacho G, only one dragon can be placed. When will that be fixed?
Yeah, as I said before.
Oh, sorry, go for it, Musashi.
Yeah, I just mentioned it, but yeah, we're fixing the dragon. We're working on the fix for the dragon today. Hopefully, we'll go out today, if not Monday.
There's another question about where can new feature ideas be sent? Michelle?
Oh, I have a feature request form. It's in the tester channel right now, but I can also post that right after this AMA in the announcement channel. I'll put it up with the bug reporting one and the NFT bug one. Are there any other live questions here before we move on? Let's see.
Ed77 says, what about auto sell bugs?
We have some fixes in review right now. So if everything goes well, those will go out tonight.
Well, look, people are starting to pop questions. So, Tantrum, just curious, why was the resolution option removed? Low, mid, high. That sounds like a Volcron question.
It is, yeah. That's not something that the engine we're using really supports, so we have to come at it from a more creative direction on that one. Play Canvas provided that kind of a nicety for us, and in this one we have to come at it a little differently, so that's why. We do want the browser to, of course, be as performant as possible. We want it to run on as many high and low powered machines as possible.
Let's see. I see a question about the UI scaling. I think that's also a Godot thing, right?
Yeah, a bit. We have a lot of control over that, but our first order there was to go with parity, and the UI definitely needs some love, right? Needs pinning and sorting and searching and all that. So the responsive design of scaling is something that we do want to put in there.
I got a question from Arlene about the tester channel. I'm probably going to get rid of the tester channel either this weekend or early next week, and then we'll just switch over to the main bug reporting channel again. I got to get all those pins together and make sure they're organized and then move them over to the regular bug reporting channel. And then we'll get rid of the tester channel. I see another question about the team challenge NFTs. I'm still working on that leaderboard. I did get a bit behind, but I will do my best to get them out as soon as humanly possible. I'm not sure about the NFT utility for the leaderboard skins, but I'll make sure it gets on the radar and we'll start working on that again. Anybody else see any questions while I'm scrolling?
I'm gonna just set a note out there, guys. Just people have been putting ideas, suggestions, requests for can we get stuff fixed sooner and whatnot. If you see a pair of eyeballs from me on that, that means I've captured it. I'm not going to be able to capture every single thing. We've got a lot of team members looking in this, but that'll help avoid the question if I've already captured your idea and kind of escalated it, just so everybody knows. It's like the latest one, Ed777. Got that. Right. So thanks, guys.
Also, please, when you report that a certain NFTs don't working, be specific. Like is it not working at all, or the numbers are wrong? Because we've received different reports on certain things. If you're very specific, it's easier for us to go in and fix them. Thank you, guys.
All right, let's move off of live questions. And do we want to start talking about the meta for next week?
That sounds good. I can take over that. First, let's talk about the next week's meta. Many of you expressed your delight in discovering the unconventional shrimp pizza, and the next one will be just as mouthwatering. I present you the next week's meta item, and I wish we had a drum roll cued in at this point. The next week's meta item will be the 4 cheese pizza. Picture a delectable pizza base adorned with a generous amount of cheese and topped off with a delightful garnish of tomatoes. Get ready to indulge your taste buds in this cheesy delight. Now let's delve into the other meta details. We will have everyone's favorite biome, the plains, coming next week. The scenic landscape will be reminiscent of our previous meta with an ocean and a river bordering two of its edges. In terms of trading, you'll still need one gas. The process will take approximately 80 seconds. So gear up and prepare to explore the breathtaking plains and all its potential next week. Looking even further into the future, let's touch upon the meta schedule for the week after that. Brace yourself as we'll be taking a slight detour from crafting pizza at an Italian restaurant. All I can say right now is that you will still need the Italian restaurant and a ton of cheese. So keep your eyes peeled for further updates. Now, let's shift our focus to the fascinating world of NFTs. The next Monday will bring an exciting opportunity to acquire a must-have item, a new rarity of an item that holds significant value in every single meta. This item is specifically designed to enhance the efficiency of your industrial workers and forklifts, enabling them to perform their tasks with remarkable ease. I present to you the next NFT for sale, the Turbo Pump. We will be offering 2 rarities of this item, with the rare version operating at 50% increased speed and the epic rarity boasting an impressive 75% reduction in craft time. So prepare to revolutionize your gameplay and take your industrial operations to new heights. Now I'll pass it back to Michelle.
Awesome. I think we skipped over leaks. Do we have any leaks or anything this week?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait, leaks. Hold on.
I think we skipped over pizza time with Todd also.
You know what, though? Better late than never. First of all, happy Friday, everyone. Awesome seeing the regulars in Discord and also the new faces. So, let's talk leaks, because I got them. Which one do I start with, though? I'm going to go with the ghost card. If you guys know, the leak mixer is going to be the upcoming ghost card, and it is pretty damn awesome for many, many reasons. But first, let me get the visuals out. That's what we want. So check this out, though, is that this ghost card is going to speed up your craft timers in the mixing tent building. And what's really cool is that the sub-legendary classes, such as the Platinum, Luxury, Diamond, they got a bit of a facelift, got some awesome feedback. Maybe they were too similar to the base Legendary. Not a problem. Now they're shining, they're gleaming, and we are rocking. So really excited for these. Can't wait for you guys to get them. I think they're going to be a game changer. As mentioned just now, the turbo pump, awesome utility. I think it's going to be really, really desired. But again, that's great in words, but we want to see pictures. We want to see some motion. So hope you guys like these tasty gifts as well. I'm excited, as always. But yeah, we are just rocking it out on our NFTs, the utility, and just trying to always keep the artwork looking great. Feedback is always appreciated, and it's because of you guys that we get to do awesome stuff. So again, happy Friday. Always get to jump in, and thank you all so much.
Thanks for the nice NFT leaks, Todd. Do we have any other leaks? Sage, we got any art this week?
Yeah, let me just drop it in 1 second.
Yes,
Okay.
Boldred, it's a turbo oil pump.
There you go. So we're getting a little bit more. The art's a little bit different this week. So Gina Bobina and our external art house are now moving much more into getting 3D models ready, getting stuff into the game. You can see a little bit behind the scenes there for the solar panel. We got a model back, and it was pretty cool, but it wasn't as sweet as the original concept sketch. So one of the processes we have to do is go, hey, that's a great model, but fix it up. And you can see Gina's notes there as she's, kind of adding, bring up some of the white there, give it a little bit more thickness, give it a little space between the panels. Kind of stuff like it, just basically get back to the original art. You've heard us talk in the past about polygons, tris or polys. Those are, how you build the 3D models. And, if you look at that picture of the silo there, you can see the original wireframe had 988. And then Gina and the team worked on it a bit, tuned it up, and got it down to 449. And for people who are wondering about performance and want lower performance modes, this is stuff that, before we even get to that, we just want to keep everything in the art world as tight as possible. All the models as low poly as we can, but still looking good. And the same thing with textures there. The same kind of thing there in the storage, just checking out the number of polys there. And of course, then the sheet pen, you can see the progression all the way we got to the end there. So the original had 544 triangles, and the V3 has 544. Actually, the original had 540, and then the new one has 544. Now, one of the things that we gave feedback, and just for everybody who likes to know a little bit more about the process, if you look at the approved concept on the far left, and then you go all the way to V2 and V3, you can see some variations there, right? And so some of the feedback that we've just sent back to the outsourced team is, look, again, move more towards the concept, the colors and the intensity of the colors that we have there from the original sketch, because that's really, we want to make sure that's the goal that we hit with the visuals. In terms of timeline, getting all of these models out and ready, we're going to start dropping them in as tests into the game world. I'm not sure if they'll be available for everybody to see. Maybe we'll preview a couple of them as tests there, but we've also asked the external team to double down on the number of folks that they have now that we have the rhythm, the pace, and the targets, so that we can get the artwork done even faster. No timelines on that. It'll definitely be after May Mayhem ends. And I think the only question is, it's June or July. We'll have to see as the art team delivers. And that's it for art.
I'm so excited to start seeing the new art show up inside the game. I can't even tell you how excited I am. It looks so nice.
Yeah, me
So
too.
excited.
Me too. I do. Is it a good time to ask a question? A question
Yeah.
for the community. So one of the brainstorms that happened executive meeting earlier in the week, actually Monday, almost a full week ago now, was the idea of bringing some sort of new type of PvP feature into the game. So bear with me on this. We know way back in time in history that town building games, farm building games in the US were different from town and farm games, mostly out of Asia or China. And one of those big differences was the option for people to do stealing from another farm. We didn't implement that in our games because we knew our audience in the US was primarily women 35 to 50. And that idea of having someone come in and steal their peppers or something like that was just not the vibe of the game. But this is a different game, and this is a different audience and a different time. So if you guys have opinions on that, go ahead and drop them in Discord. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be a very graphic experience, but you could just maybe just a little bit like, if you've seen the games like Coin Master, where you go ahead and either send the bomb or you do some stealing or something like that. Would just be curious what you guys thinking. Negative. No, get off my lawn. No. Look at that. We have to come before they come for us. PvP. So, yeah, cool. Thanks for the notes, everybody. Please, God, no. Please, no, I pay for this. Not a fan. No. Only on casual. Whoa, okay. That's interesting. No, no, no stealing. I don't work hard in my town. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Thank you for all the. I don't think I've seen anybody say yes, which is good. So good to know. Yeah, in general, I'm not a fan of it because you do, like everybody says, you do work really hard at your stuff, especially when you're building a permanent or forever town. Uh, but yeah, thanks for your notes and feedback, everybody.
I think that's through most of our agenda. So if you guys have live questions, we've got time. We sped through it real quick today. Anyone out there got live questions? When Diamond Storehouse? I have not seen any plans for a Diamond Storehouse. You'll know as soon as we know. I think the Diamond utility is still getting worked on. I'm not sure if Musashi has any update on when the Diamond warehouse will start doubling other warehouses. Is that still? I think that's still getting worked on.
I believe that was out, but if there's a bug with that, please report it to Mikel.
I'm not sure that we have a timeline on any type of a Vox utility. We still have to get those built into the game. I know the ERC 721s they involve a bit more work to add into the game, which is probably why the Frank Miller also hasn't been added to the game yet. But once we get that done, then we can at least get the Vox in the game, and then we can start moving on to other plans for Vox, if there are any. I see a question about paved road speed. I did bring that up with the team this morning. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
That's in high priority today.
Sweet. Trade bot. There are no plans for the trade bot anytime soon. We're gonna work on getting the rest of the parity of the game up first. The trade bot also will have to be on Geary once we get Geary integration, because it's not an actual NFT yet. It's just a box full of pieces. So there won't be any trade bot until at least we get Geary integration done.
G-Dub keeps asking about something golden egg. Not sure where that comes from, unless it was leaked accidentally.
Probably he means golden goose.
Must be the golden goose, and the assumption that golden geese lay golden eggs, maybe?
That's I don't know if it's an accurate assumption. No, it is. Golden goose is in the pipeline. But again, we're working on stability. So, for example, I see someone asking consistently when offline play, and we've discussed it throughout the AMA, but for everyone's sake, it's in testing right now. So we're hoping to get it out the door as soon as possible.
There's Volcron. It's a great idea. What if Golden Goose was the antagonist and stole from players' towns? I don't know. Maybe that's a different idea. Maybe that's just so different people would do it.
Well, that was my pitch, right? My original pitch for the Golden Goose was for it to be the thing to be an asshole to other players. And someone said no.
I don't know, who could that be?
Someone being safe. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in general, I'm just so everybody knows, I'm not even though the towns we build in competitions are what I call sandcastles. You build them, you set them up, and then they go away, kind of like when the tide comes in and washes away your sandcastle. Even in that mode versus a permanent mode, where sometimes call the permanent mode a garden mode, right? You build your own garden, you keep tending to it. But even though both, just the idea of building up your sandcastle, your garden, whatever, and having somebody come in and wreck it is not fun. And I know that because having made so many RTS games where those are just the pure definition of a sandcastle. You build up a base, and here comes the enemy to try to take it down. So I think this is a different nature of the game. So that's why I'm not such a fan of destructive competition tactics.
I've seen somebody asking a bunch of questions about the AI and how the workers are continuing to like go back to their houses between tasks. Do we have any progress updates on the AI fixes and the pathing issues?
If it's regarding priorities, we've been fixing those throughout the week. You see in the change that we posted. When you say this guy has priority or this thing has priority or this thing shouldn't be, we've created tickets and we can fix a bunch of them. So there could be more. Please let us know if there's a more general pathing issue. We'll look into it.
I see people asking about the meta again. Case or Asrod, do you want to go back through one more time what the requirements for a 4-cheese pizza are?
Okay, this time let me tell you in exact details. A 4-cheese pizza, like the shrimp pizza, will require one pizza base, and it will require, as the name suggests, more cheese. It will have 2 more cheese on top of pizza base, and then finally it will require 5 tomatoes as garnish. Through that, you can build a 4-cheese pizza. In case someone missed, I can talk about the other meta details as well. For the biome, we will have plains. And 2 of your edges, one of them will be ocean and another will be river, like the last meta. The gas fees would still be 1 gasoline for a trade, and it would take you about 80 seconds for every single trade.
I wanted to jump in here. Sapper asked a question. Instead of rating other players, what about random weather events? They would have to hit all the players at the same time for it to be fair, of course, but different layouts would be affected differently. There is my thoughts on that are exactly this. I like weather generally as a gameplay feature. I want to be careful that it's not a weather disaster. Anybody who is a fan of the old SimCity series, you know what it's like when weather comes through and wipes it out. Or anybody who's ever played, maybe like the original CNC where you have negative crates, you get a surprise and it's not a good surprise. So I tend to like to have, when there's a surprising element like weather, try to make it more positive. And they also like the idea of, having an effect. It's your town, it's your world. So wouldn't it be great if there was some way for you to be able to affect the weather, for you to be able to set things up? Way back in the old farm days, I had this idea of a little black rain cloud that you could nudge around your map to actually help water crops, make them grow faster. So stuff like that. That's definitely in the mindset of the future. But like everybody's saying, we really, really want to get everything stable up and going first with the parity, and then getting earnings turned back on, and getting on Jiri and dropping all those cool NFTs. And there's just so much cool stuff to do. So yeah, thanks for that idea, Sapper.
We've got about 10 more minutes if anyone else has any live questions. The portal. Any chance on the portal coming back? I have too much cash.
Sorry?
Someone's asking about the corrupted portal and if it will return back to the game or if it was just a legacy thing.
We're evaluating that. So give your feedback to Farmer Michel. We'll assess accordingly.
Varionic, you've asked that question a couple times, I think. Is Townstar going to have a game launcher? I think kind of what you're saying is maybe is there going to be an app, a downloadable app for it, as opposed to having it be a web app. We know we're going to get to mobile apps in the future. I'm not sure if we're ever going to do a PC Mac app. That's not really something on our plans right now, but things could change. Is that it for questions, everybody? Everybody on stage? Is it time to give it an early call?
I see people wondering why there's only 2 cheese in the 4 cheese pizza. It's got 2 cheese in the pizza base and then 2 more cheese to make the 4 cheese pizza. And 2 cheese plus 2 cheese is 4 cheese.
Seawolf, question. Long-term vision of Townstar. Yeah, we've got one. It's, various degrees of clear and specific for the next few months, plus some really high-minded ideas. I'm not sure we're ever going to share that long-term vision 2 to 3 years from now. Because, I 1,000% know the vision we share today will be radically different from what gets implemented in 2 to 3 years from now. And all the stuff that we have been sharing about upgradable NFTs on Jiri, evolutions, quests, persistent town forever town, expanding territories. That is a chock full of things to be done for the next 3 to 6 months. Anyways, possibly more. Oh, new types of competitions. So there's already a lot of stuff that we've been sharing, but in terms of that larger, I think I know what you're asking for, and yeah, there is one, but it's not time to share it right now. I would rather continue to implement it and work on it and have that option to change and expand. But it does. I'll give you the nickname. I call it the Valentine's Day plan because that's the first time I shared it out with the execs around the company. So just there's nothing significant about Valentine's Day other than it was February 14th. That's why I call it that. But yeah, there's a longer term. There's a lot of cool stuff. And if you really want to kind of get a clue on it, it's all the things that we've been talking about for the past 6 months. So it's there.
I see Willow asking if it's confirmed that the meta will last 2 weeks. Willow, you're the only person I've ever seen say that. So no, it is definitely not confirmed. Ron Burgundy, there will be an update, at least for this week, every day at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. They were pre-announced. We do have to keep updating the game so that we can get it finalized. We don't want to wait until the end of the week to push all the updates at one time. It's just better if we do them daily. I don't know if anyone
Yeah, I'll
else
jump in
wants to
there.
talk
I'll
about that.
jump in there and
Yeah.
talk about it. So here's a perfect example, and the fast forwarding is just a great perfect example. We don't want to release it during the middle of a competition in case something breaks. Right? It's a big feature. It's kind of really meaty, and so for the past few weeks, we're like, okay, we'll release it Monday. We get a day of testing before competition starts, and then something happens, and we can't get it done Monday, or something else comes up critical. And so what that then does is it pushes out a whole nother week. Now imagine if we had all the NFT fixes and everything else that Volcron and the team are implementing and executing on. Imagine if we did that with all of those fixes every time. Oh, wow, that would be just a long time. Get anything in the game, there'd be more complaints. And, so while we know it's a little bit painful to get updates every day, the real issues that we're focusing on is how to try to make that process easier for everybody until we get to this, what we call sort of out of guerrilla mode and more into a stable weekly cadence. So that's what we're going to keep doing. We know it's not fun for everybody, and we know there's complaints. You see me on Discord, especially late at night, acknowledging, recognizing, capturing notes from everybody who expressed that. The team's hyper aware as I drop those notes into the escalation channel we have. Nothing like everybody waking up their morning and seeing me drop 5 to 10 to 20 different escalation notes for everybody to look at. So, but yeah, that's the reason why we're doing it. We're going to keep doing it because we think overall the benefit's better, and we do not want to get stuck with a backlog of fixes that everybody has to wait for. But we will keep working on it. In offline mode, no, the updates will not restart your game. It'll auto continue because it basically goes into hibernation. And then when it comes back, it'll just pick up the simulation. Ed77, what about the great connection screen we keep getting? Didn't Volcron, didn't we talk about that earlier on?
Yeah, we did. Happy to go into it again. There's if you're talking about the full gray screen with the spinning town T, that there are a couple causes for that. We're addressing all of them. We have some fixes going out today.
I see a couple people wondering when the new meta will be live in the casual mode.
We're still defining that. We're wary of the competition ends tomorrow. We need to do a new version for changing those parameters, right? Which is something that shouldn't be like that in the future, but we're working towards that. So we'll figure out and let you guys know if it's over the weekend or Monday morning. Now I see again someone like asking for fast forward and how it works. Well, we've said that fast forward is coming very soon. But how it will work very quickly is there's a toggle that you can already see in settings. So for each town you have either casual or competition, you can turn that on or off. So if it's off, it means that the game just won't update if you close the game. Once you come back in, it will be exactly like you left it. And if it's on, when you come back, it will fast forward to that position, exactly like if the game was on the whole time.
Did anybody bribe Tofu for the leak that I accidentally did last night in our conversation? No? Anybody in the community? He's got one. He didn't screen cap it in time, so he doesn't have proof of it, but I accidentally Tom Holland did a chat discussion with him last night.
The couch potato, I do not have any updates on the issue with Circle. I know that support is working on it. I know that you ask me every single day, if not multiple times a day. And as soon as it's resolved, I will let you know.
I think it's a good time to call this AMA. Call it baked, done, cooked. We gotta get back to our Friday.
Sounds good to me. I'll get all of those forms posted in the announcement channel, and I will get the meta information out right away. The sale post will probably be later in the evening.
Cool. Well, let's go ahead and call it a wrap. This ends May 12th, AMA. We've been doing these things for a full year, almost just shy of a full year. Thank you everybody for joining us, asking your question in polite, thoughtful, and constructive manners. Also, thank you everybody who's helping the new players that come into the community. And some of those players are returning players, so they're asking the same questions that you might have heard a dozen times before, but really appreciate you guys for taking the time there, helping them out, helping people get started, sharing ideas, pointing to resources, especially dubsteps there. That's very helpful for anybody listening who hasn't seen that yet. Go ahead and check it out. But there's many more out there as well. And the team really appreciates everybody's feedback, ideas, information. We can't always get to it, but we really do appreciate that. And as always, in these AMAs, we try to share what we're actually doing that's going to come out. We try to be very, very careful about making promises out into the future, because we really just instead are focused as a team on walking the talk, saying what we're going to do, and then doing it, right? So anyways, thank you for everybody for joining us today. And looks forward to seeing you online in Discord. If you see me, hit me up, say hello. See everybody else here on the call. We jump in there periodically every single week or every single day, not every week, every single day. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks everybody on stage too.